Sometimes you see a headline and you think that can't be real, but then you realize we're in 2024 and we are in such a nonsensical world that yes, it is real. This is over on That Park Place, and it says Kotaku managing editor goes on deranged rant, accusing Mark Kern of, wait for it, every NPC download in one quote. Maintaining and reinforcing a heteronormative, cisnormative, white supremacist, patriarchal status quo. Holy hell. What type of upstanding citizen would make a comment like that? It is ma'am. It is ma'am.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay?
Both of you guys?
Ma'am. Once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was a general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
This man who calls himself Caroline Pettit, Kotaku managing editor, a man who claims to be a woman and uses the name Carolyn Pettit, went on an unhinged and deranged rant against Mark Kern, a.k.a. Grums, accusing him of maintaining and reinforcing the heteronormative, cisnormative, white supremacist, patriarchal status quo. You can't make this shit up, dude. You can't do it. You can't do it. Pettit's rant came in the wake of Grums responding to an anonymous game developer admitting he hates gamers. The developer, who claims to work on a racing game, shared a post in the game dev subreddit titled, "Am I allowed to say this? I kinda hate gamers." In the body of the post, he explained, "I'm a professional game designer and I'm worried that I'm starting to hate gamers. Watching the gaming events on YouTube last month with the chat on was an extremely disheartening experience. Every time a character that wasn't a cis white male appeared on screen, the chats would fill the messages calling the game woke or complaining about DEI. Hail to the chat. Every game that wasn't a shooter or hyper-casual competitive online game garnered ZZZs and boring." Are you really fragile enough you can't deal with people saying boring in your comments section? Are you really that weak? Are you really that pathetic? Yes, you are. My goodness. There is not a single person on this internet that doesn't get criticism, period. And the more followers you have, the more criticism you're going to get for your takes, because that is fandom. That is the gaming world. That is the real world. That's just how it is. I get criticism in my chat all the time. Do you know why? Because that's the real world. Nobody's always going to agree with everything you say. My God, these people are so pathetic. They need all of their opinions regurgitated back to them. They just need validation for everything. So weak and pathetic. My gosh. And then I check Twitter, and it's just people complaining that Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake is not yellow enough. People telling me that there are right ways and wrong ways to beat Elden Ring. And people hating on the new Dragon Age because the trailer doesn't match the tone they had imagined for it. He continued. He then added, "I've seen people implying that the MC and Fable trailers is ugly because it's a self-insert of some random level designer working at Playground whom they had deemed not fuckable enough." Hail to the chat. Let's go. I don't know. It's just the internet magnifying negative voices, I guess. Doing what it does best. But it's making me real tired of gamers. Aw, poor little baby. Well, guess what? Go fuck yourself. Nobody cares. All right? If you're not tough enough to handle the criticism that comes with the internet, then that's on you. Nobody feels sorry for you. Nobody gives a shit. This is the world we live in. If you can't take criticism, then get off the fucking internet. Simple as that. I get criticism all day long. That's life. Grums reacted to this post on X. "Oh boy, you hate gamers because you are obviously political and insist that everyone accept and love your overt political messaging in games. You want compliance and gamers aren't giving it to you." I agree with Grums. And then Pettit responded, oh God. Here we go. I've said this many times before. There is no way, shape, or form in in which people like Grummy here is doing is not in self deeply political. It's all about maintaining and reinforcing the heteronormative, cisnormative, white supremacist patriarchal status quo. My God. Oh man, oh man, oh man. The issue is those political ideas are not presented in an alternative, but rather as a hostile takeover. Pettit addressed this writing, laughing my ass off, right, we're the hostile ones, asking to exist freely and safely as equals in society and sometimes see ourselves represented and reflected in the mediums we love. Patriarchy and white supremacy are themselves hostile and maintained through violence or the threat of violence. They want to be victims so bad, and they can't find it anywhere, so they're just going to make it up on Twitter. Pettit's claim is clearly false. Sweet Baby Inc. CEO Kim Belair made it abundantly clear that followers of woke ideology like her and Pettit are indeed attempting to take over the video game industry. In an interview with, so today, this is what Belair said. Today, what we do is writing, narrative design, story building, story breaking as our first and foremost. But on a secondary level, we want to work very hard to get marginalized talent into the industry, to protect them the way that we would want to have been protected, to lift them up and to get them into the industry where they're too often shut out. She then admitted, basically, I think to take over in the hopes that some really some really dope people will be able to lead into a kind of new era into the industry that's been the same way too long, meaning way too white and male. God, there's just so much more to this, but ultimately, that headline got me, man. There are people that are actively working in the games industry that absolutely hate gamers. And a lot of them work for Kotaku. And that is not surprising. Famously, we've got someone working for Kotaku right now, Alyssa Mercante, and she has made it very clear that she hates gamers. Although, admittedly, Alyssa Mercante is just not as fun to meme on as Frosk was. I miss Frosk. Frosk actually added something, and it was fun to roast her. I think Alyssa Mercante is just an idiot. It's not even that fun to roast her. Not even fun. Not even when she's challenging people to fights and blocking everybody and crying and pretending none of it bothers her. It's just not as fun. But Kotaku is on borrowed time. You have people like Alyssa Mercante there. You have this managing editor there. And this represents the company. And the company has been falling big time in the last few years. And they're going to continue in that direction. We just saw Kotaku of Australia shut down. And I think that the main primary Kotaku is on borrowed time. I would be shocked if they make it another year, and I don't have any internal information to lead me to that. I'm just making an educated guess on that, so I guess we'll see how it all works out. But yeah, man, another developer that hates gamers and can't take gamers saying boring in the fucking chat over a boring game. If you can't handle a gamer saying boring in the chat, you need to get the fuck out of the gaming industry right now, because I guarantee you can't handle anything if boring hurts your feelings. My God. You guys have a great day. Thank you very much for checking out this video, and we will talk to you later.